My girlfriend tried to baby trap me but didn't know I had a vasectomy. I have some buddies at work who like to go out with their significant others on double dates. Sometimes I was invited on several occasions, but let them know I wasn't currently dating. So what did they do? They got me a date, of course. It was a co-worker of a buddy, so we'll call her P. P was a very shy, quiet girl from a family that wasn't as strict or super religious. She seemed out of place at first, but looking back, I think she fit in with the crowd more than she let on. I won't give the significant others or buddies labels because they are not relevant for most of the story, but they are important for how she and I met and one or two other occasions. So as 3 couples went out, we hit it off and became fast friends, drinking the night away. I ended up kissing her and paying for a taxi to take her home. 6 months later, P and I were living together. She moved in with me and we were great together. We didn't fight, and if we did, it was something silly that blew over seconds after it began. One night after we had done the deed, I looked down and noticed my condom broke. Panic mode engaged. I started freaking out and told her what happened. She immediately calmed me down and said she was on birth control. I felt relieved, but then surprised. She never mentioned this to me before, did she? She passed it off as something she mentioned to me, but I was busy with Fallout New Vegas at the time. Yeah, this was around when that game came out, so I probably didn't notice her say anything. Again, looking back, this should have been a red flag. I chalked it up to extra precautions on her part and felt really good about how well we worked together. She was being responsible for both our sakes. Birth control along with condoms can only make things extra safe, right? Nope. She got sick a week later, complaining that she was always in the bathroom and couldn't hold food down. Yeah, you know where this is going. The P stands for pregnant. Now, I am usually a pretty calm guy, but man, oh man, was I flipping out. Not at her, mind you. I make pretty good money, enough for her to only work part-time and go to school. I don't go to school. I work and still do, but in a much higher position in a trade career, which I won't name for anonymity's sake. Babies change things, though. That meant she would have to stop school, stay home for several months, and then get a full-time job. I wasn't worried about me, but her. I could manage, but she wanted to finish school and be stable enough so that if we ever decided to have kids, it wouldn't be in this kind of situation. Well, she ended up getting an abortion and begged me not to tell her parents, who again were not super religious, but this was a big negative to them. It took months of her talking to them and me courting her to let us live together. She and I were both 21 at this time, so of course, I wasn't going to say anything. I was almost shocked at her decision. That's right, hers. I hoped she would get one for her sake and mine, in all honesty, but I would have stayed and raised the child with her through hard times because I loved her. For about 4 months, we barely talked. I thought things were over, but then one night, everything just magically went back to normal. I thought, yes, we are okay again. This was also a red flag, but in my excitement, I don't think I realized it. Now, having a big scare like that and knowing she was on birth control led me to the decision some of you may or may not cringe at: vasectomy. I had one. I went in for the consult with my primary care doctor and was referred to where I had it done. A week of ice and paid vacation. Now I know what you are thinking, and I saved some juice for later just in case. Although I should have, I didn't tell P. Now I know that you're thinking WTF, but honestly, she was on break at the time visiting family. I wanted to wait and let her know when she got home and not discuss it when her parents were around. I wasn't sure how they would react if they overheard. I'm sure you can see how much her family's opinion matters, and it will come up later too. I was back at work on light duty, and business picked up fast. I had no time to even text or call her, letting her know I needed to talk to her about something important. By the time she got home, we both got so busy that I didn't even mention it. This may seem odd since it's a major game changer for a relationship, but I was also a young man whose life was, and still is, mostly full of constant go, 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 work, work, work. Things just vanished into cold storage sometimes. Fast forward 2.5 years. I was promoted a few times, was high off life, loved my significant other, and we were thinking about getting married when she finished school. By this point, our relationship had progressed enough that we no longer used birth control pills or condoms. Now she said she got an IUD to prevent pregnancy. I thought that was odd at first, thinking about how I was snipped. Oh well, maybe she just wanted to be extra sure. Well, not so much. About midway through August 2014, she got sick again. This time we had no idea what she could have. I rushed her to the ER and became that guy who took his significant other to the hospital to find out she was pregnant. Now, the first thing most of you guys probably think I did was scream, "Screw you!" or "Cheater." Nope. I acted just as surprised as she did, told her it's fine, we can get through this, and I'm with her 100%. Now, state laws differ, and your results may vary, but here, unless the father signs a birth certificate himself in person, it doesn't count. I made sure because the first thing I did after getting some time alone from her was see my company's attorney for a consult. He recommended me a good person to seek legal counsel in paternal matters. A week and a half or so later, I met him and made sure if I have undeniable proof that I'm not the father, I would have no responsibility for the baby or P according to our state laws. So I had my assurances, and as far as she knew, it was probably mine, right? After all, we were not using any birth control at all. None. Turns out she had scheduled the appointment, had it put in, but it was removed because of complications that caused pain and swelling. This I was not informed of. Now, normally I leave personal belongings alone. I trusted her and did not want to be the overbearing significant other that looks at your stuff by accident. We both had our own phones, PCs, and tablets, so she didn't suspect a thing when I searched through, literally, no joke guys, hundreds of emails of her back and forth setting updates, times, and prices. That's right, she was screwing for cash, or so I thought. Turns out she was actually screwing for free, and and selling meds that she stole from patients. The abortion she got was not the first. Oh, did I mention she was in school to become a nurse? She would sneak meds any way she could. She would take them from old people, young people, cancer patients. She was a sneaky one too. She hid all of this from me, her teachers, and her parents. Her biggest supply was using people she had previously screwed and sold to. She would have them get hurt, or help them get hurt, and then get them prescribed pain pills. For the entire time of her pregnancy, I said nothing to her parents, her friends, or her teachers. She was close to graduating and close to being a mom. Everything was so happy for her. Everything was going great. Well, I got an apartment and paid rent for it secretly. The place we lived was in her parents' name. The reason being, at a moment's notice, they wanted to be able to kick me out for wronging their daughter. This turned out to be an amazing blessing. I started selling my stuff to put into a fund for the baby, but was really moving it to my new place. She thought I was crazy when I sold my gaming rig, laptop, and Xbox. I said, "It's all for us, baby." Now this next part was risky, but I had no choice. I needed some help. I talked to the buddy who got me with her to begin with. They will be B and SO. B had left the company I worked for, so this would not negatively affect him in any way. I needed more info on P's part-time job so that I could get back at her. SO was her boss, and she was exactly the same to them on the outside as she was to everyone else. To this day, I kind of admire her ninja ability, but it's also why I have no regrets or guilt. I told them everything, showed them everything. B and SO were shocked, sad, sorry for me, sorry for her, then furious with her. How dare she manipulate them like this? SO stated things go missing from the workplace, cash drawer short, but P was always covered in some kind of way. She had been framing people and was just very careful and calculated in her plans. SO said she, in all honesty, never looked real hard at her either. Her facade had everyone fooled. Well, lucky for me, SO said in P's maternity leave, security cameras were replaced and better quality. We made our plan then. In comes the week that she is due. She is wheeled into the hospital and stays for 3 nights before she gives birth. I have no problems with the child, as you will soon find out, but at the time, he was a symbol of misplaced trust and a broken heart. They had to take the baby away after a few minutes. He was jaundiced, and although he seemed fine, they wanted to make double sure. She reluctantly let him go. What should we name our son? I tell you, readers, I must have looked like the cat from Alice. I sure felt like I was. Our? You mean yours? Her color left, and she stammered to speak before I put my hand up and told her I got a snip 6 months after we started dating. Her face almost seemed to cave in. That confirmed for me the baby is only her baby. Not ours baby, but yours, and yours alone. Tears. Nothing but tears. I told her that she was never to speak to me again, and walked out. I told the medical staff that under no circumstances was my name to be on that certificate. I was a concerned former boyfriend that she cheated on, and she was a junkie. Lab reports on the cord blood, unfortunately, later showed this to be true, but the baby was fine. I explained that I was only there to make sure her baby was all right. I was not to be contacted, and if she said I was her boyfriend, they shouldn't believe her. If I needed to prove that to them, I would. I left, packed my stuff, and moved to my new apartment. I know what you're thinking. That was not really that harsh at all. I didn't think so either. I waited until she was back at home. I left my keys and $400 in an envelope at her place so that she had money when she was out. Also, I knew that she would either buy some more pills, try and sell her busted car, or maybe, just maybe, get her act together and fix herself. That's right, she did all three. Now I know at this point I'm okay on the work front and with the parent situation. The moment she was released, her parents picked her up because I wasn't there. She called them, complained, and told them everything. I was going to be thrown out, but what's this? I'm not there. She was probably upset she didn't get the joy of kicking me to the curb. Instead, there was the envelope for her with $400 and the keys. I don't know what went through her head, but she was already back into her normal routine before long. She must have thought I skipped town completely. Calling work led to a not here, they were informed. Asking SO led to B saying he hadn't heard from me. She thought she got off the hook with one baby and nothing else. A while later, she got fired. Security footage showed her manipulating drawers and framing other employees. She told her parents it wasn't her, and they believed her. Next, her school got a big package from an anonymous source, letting them know she was recently fired for stealing. Now, I am not sure how she got through school and the hospital without these substances in her system popping a red flag. I know they tested the cord blood from the baby, and I specifically stated she was a junkie. I never dug into it, but probably should have. Her school has a zero-tolerance policy against substance abuse. The package also contained the emails as well as messages to and from buyers, sellers, and anyone else she did shady stuff with. Did I mention the hospital she worked at also got a package? And the police? Her parents disowned her. She was fired, expelled, and CPS was on her case. To wrap it up, she lost everything, including the baby. He's fine now, though. His real dad was found. She basically went back and looked for anyone that could have possibly been the father at that point in time. Kind of impressive considering the guy was 29. Call him D. He had been divorced and was lonely. I understand he had a great house and income, so he was given custody after a paternity test. The other couple we were with on the first date, she slept with that guy. That's right, he still works at my company too. I remember when he went through the divorce. I didn't talk to him much, so I had no idea he had slept with her. It only took one time. She never told anyone she met for sex that she was in a relationship. He had no idea we were dating. He didn't talk with me enough, and I was in a different part of the workplace at that point. So in the end, she has no home, no friends, no job, no career, and now her kid is with his dad. She gets zero visitation. I'm single, still hang out with her parents. I have my job, my apartment, and best of all, I'm not the baby daddy.